The war in Afghanistan started in 2001 with promises of freedom and stability. But 20 years later, on August 5th, 2021, Kabul fell and chaos returned. Images of people clinging to planes become symbols of a US loss of dominance. Hello everyone, my name is Dana and my partner,
My name is Farhan.
and today we will take you through the discussion General Information The Fall of Kabul 2021. Before we discuss our material, first watch this video of the 9/11 attack and President Bush's announcement of the Afghanistan war.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. These carefully targeted actions are designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations and to attack the military capability.
So yeah, we want to discuss about brief history. Why the US intervention in Afghanistan? After the tragic after the tragic events of 9/11, the world was shocked when hijacked airplane crashed into the Twin Towers in New York, killing around 3,000 people. This became one of the darkest moments in modern United States history. Not long after that, the CIA confirmed that the attack was carried out by the terrorist group Al Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden. At that time, Osama was hiding in Afghanistan in area controlled by Taliban. The US President George W. Bush demanded that Taliban hand over Osama. However, the Taliban is refused. In response, United States launched a massive military operation called Operation Enduring Freedom, with the main goals to capture Osama bin Laden and overthrow the Taliban regime. Within a short time, the Taliban was successfully overthrown, and the US, along with its allies, established a pro-Western government in Kabul in 2001. This marked the beginning of America's long involvement in Afghanistan, an intervention that would last for 2 decades. Yes, Taliban still existed. Although Kabul was led by a pro-Western government, the Taliban never truly disappeared. They continued to resist United States force and fought to regain control of Kabul. This ongoing conflict lasted for nearly 20 years and became widely known as the War on Terror, or somebody says forever war. Even after the death of Osama bin Laden in 2011, the conflict did not end. The Taliban keep gaining strength in rural area, in village, slowly rebuilding their power until they eventually returned to power in 2021. In the following years, the Taliban began to expand their control while the United States-backed government in Kabul grew weaker and weaker and then lost influence. This situation reached a turning point when President Joe Biden announced the withdrawal of United States troops from Afghanistan, ending America's 2-decade-long military operation in that country. Finally, on August 15, 2021, as we know, fall of Kabul, the Taliban successfully captured Kabul and took over the Afghan government. This moment is known as I said before, fall of Kabul, a chaotic chaos military withdrawal that shocked the world and marked the end of America longest war.
What you are looking at right now is Taliban fighters inside the presidential palace. A fairly stunning turnaround of events in Kabul. This seems to be a complete takeover now, does it not?
20 years after a US military-led coalition toppled the Taliban in Afghanistan, the hardline Islamist group retook Kabul. Following President Biden's announcement of a full withdrawal of US troops, the city fell quickly. Dozens of Afghan citizens and US military personnel were killed. Biden said an agreement between former President Trump and the Taliban had left him no choice. Over 100,000 people fled Kabul in the days after.
And we go to the background. One of the main reasons why Kabul fell to the Taliban was the US-Taliban agreement signed on February 29, 2020. The deal stated that the United States would gradually reduce its troops from Afghanistan. Then, as US support reduced, the Afghan government force, which had been built and trained by the West, began to collapse due to the lack of military assistance from the US. This withdrawal was initiated by former President Donald Trump, who declared the policy to bring the troops home. At that time, the United States had begun to shift its geopolitical focus toward China and Russia, while the war in Afghanistan had already cost more than $2 trillion. The fall of Kabul in 2021 happened quickly, triggered by the withdrawal of US troops and the escape of President Ashraf Ghani. With leadership left, the Afghan government collapsed, allowing the Taliban to easily take over US military base and abandoned facility. Then, took a moment to look these pictures. What you're seeing here is an image that captured the chaos and the transition of power during the fall of Kabul. This moment represents the end of the American intervention era in Afghanistan. The images spread quickly around the world and sparked global reactions. Many said that the US was beginning to lose its influence as a superpower and hegemony.
So yeah, we discussed the theories related to the event. So we have two main theories taken from the book Does America Need a New Foreign Policy, published in July 2024 edition of Foreign Affairs. In general, the book discusses how America's old strategy as the global hegemony using military intervention to spread its influence, such as democracy, freedom, is now no longer relevant in today's world. From this discussion, there's a two critical perspective presented, one from Ben Rhodes, who is liberal, he is from Democratic Party, and another is from O'Brien, representing the conservative view, the Republican Party. From Ben Rhodes, the US approach of using military intervention in the Middle East and Central Asia is no longer effective. Instead of strengthening America's global image, it has actually weakened its influence and credibility. Rhodes argues that the world today is becoming multipolar, where the power is no longer dominated by a single nation. Therefore, the United States must shift its foreign policy from one based on military dominance to one in diplomacy and soft power. He also emphasized that America should focus more in domestic issues. The greatest challenge for the United States now lies within itself. As Rhodes states, America cannot lead the world if it cannot lead itself. In contrast, O'Brien argues that the United States must maintain its role as global leader and continue to use military intervention when necessary to preserve global stability. According to O'Brien, the hurried withdrawal from Afghanistan revealed a serious sign of weakness in United States leadership. This power vacuum, he warns, could open opportunities for countries like China, Russia, Iran to expand their influence. O'Brien believes that America's military strength serves as a deterrent. It helps prevent war, not provoke them. And he states, if America retreats, authoritarian power will fill the vacuum. So, why it is important to understanding the fall Kabul 2021 and related to this book? These two theories help us understand the real meaning behind the fall of Kabul. This event became clear evidence that America's dominance and hegemony are beginning to decline. From Penrose's perspective, the chaos in Kabul represent the failure of America's old strategy, relying on military intervention to maintain global influence. It shows that such as an approach is not longer effective in today's world. Meanwhile, from O'Brien, the fall of Kabul symbolizes the decline of US power and leadership on global stage. It reflects how America retreat created a vacuum power, allowing the other powers, China, Russia, as I said before, to expand their influence. In short, I want to emphasize the fall of Kabul 2021 was not just a moment of political collapse. It was a turning point that questioned America's role as superpower in the modern world. Notes, we found this book. We think it's very interesting to look in when we visit American Corner at Muhammadiyah in university. Maybe if you interested in exploring more about this topic, you can check it out there and read it there. Next is about etiology. Oh, before that, this is our theories. The left is Benjamin C. Rhodes and the right is Robert O'Brien. Yeah, we move to ideology. So in etiology, we took this subject or topic from Andrew Dick's books on American studies, which is called American Exceptionalism. You can find in chapter 1, in chapter 3. American exceptionalism is the idea that the United States is unique, superior, and different from other nations. It is often linked to belief superiority of American values such as freedom, democracy, and human rights. This idea can be connected to the US intervention in Afghanistan, which is reflected America's belief that it had a moral duty to spread democracy and fight tyranny. A concept also strongly emphasized by President George W. Bush, who stated that America was not only fighting terrorism, but also fighting tyranny and defending freedom. And yes, we took ideology of hegemony by Antonio Gramsci. If you remember from cultural studies class in 4th semester, Antonio Gramsci defines hegemony as the dominance of the class over others, not only through force, but also through ideological persuasion. In this context, when Kabul fell to the Taliban, it can be seen as crisis of hegemony, a moment that symbolized the decline of American dominance. The fall of Kabul showed that the United States failed to maintain the values it had long promoted, such as democracy and stability. Next material will be presented by Danang.
Okay, the next is we have a representation view of American from Odin. And in the beginning, we saw chaos at the airport. Thousands of Afghans were trying to get onto a C-70 military plane, some even hanging on the wings and the body of the aircraft. And semiotically, this moment becomes a sign of collective panic. It shows that there was no longer any force that could guarantee safety. It also reflects the helplessness of the people and the loss of protection that the United States had once promised. In other words, America claimed to be the guardian of stability and democracy, no longer matches the really on the ground. Then there is the scene of the Taliban raising their flag and driving the Humvees that were left behind by the US military. This was not just a regular political transition, it symbolized a shift in power. The Humvee, which once represented American military strength, now become evidence that control had moved into the hand of the Taliban. Through these visual symbols, we see clearly that authority had shifted from a global hegemon to the group that had previously been labeled as the enemy. And the last one, the withdrawal of US troops represent more than just a military retreat. It marks the end of America's dominance in Afghanistan. This moment challenged the image of the United States as a superpower that maintains order around the world instead of appearing as a controlling and wielding force. America now appears as a power stepping back and giving up the stage. And we have a conclusion. The fall of Kabul represents a major shift in global power dynamics after 2 decades of US intervention. The US presence in Afghanistan failed to establish a stable and lasting government. The event reflects 2 competing ideas, whether the US should continue military intervention to maintain global leadership or shift toward diplomacy and focus on domestic stability. And Kabul's collapse symbolizes the decline of US hegemony and the emergence of a more multipolar world order.
So yeah, we have quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
So, my name is Didi.
Yes. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good day.
Thank you.